Hello and welcome to this News 18 special. We are joining you from Raichur in Karnataka. Even as the election heat increases, the campaign too has seen major statements by political parties. On the one hand, the BJP wants to carpet bomb the state with the rallies of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah. On the other hand, the Congress too bringing in Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. On the other hand, you also have Siddaramaiah, who has his own campaign going on in Kalyan, Karnataka region for the last few days. That is where he is. We are in Raichur. He is also close by. He is campaigning here for the last few days. At the same time, let's look at what has happened over the last 24 hours. While the talk was about corruption, 40% Sarkar, the narrative seems to be changing, with one statement of Mallikarjun Kharge saying that Prime Minister is like a poisonous snake. Amit Shah has hit back. But the question is, will Prime Minister now sweep the state or get advantage for the BJP in Karnataka based on this statement? And we'll also talk about the impact the Prime Minister has in several states every time he campaigns in the assembly elections. Before we get into that, we would like to play out the sound bites of Mallikarjun Kharge and Amit Shah on this issue.
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಐಡಿಯಾಲಜಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಿಚಾರಧಾರೆ ಏನಿದೆ, ಅದು ಬಹಳ ಕೆಟ್ಟಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದು ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ನೀವೇನಾದರೂ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ, ಮೋದಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ವಿಷದ ಹಾವಿದ್ದಂಗೆ. ನೀವಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ವಿಷ ಅದ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೋಡೋಣ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೆಕ್ ನೋಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ನೆಕ್ಕಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿರಿ, ನೆಕ್ಕರು ಸತ್ತ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದು ವಿಷ ಅದನೋ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಮೋದಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟನ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯನ ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಮಂತ್ರಿ, ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡೋಣ ನೆಕ್ ನೋಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಆ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಮಲಗೇ ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಲ್ಲಿ. ಹಂಗೆ ನೀವು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಚಿಂತೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಈಗ ದೇಶಕ್ಕಾಗಿ.
कि विसेला एक कांग्रेस के अध्यक्ष खड़गे जी उनको कहते हैं कि विसेला सांप जैसे हैं। मोदी जी की तुलना सांप से करने वाली कांग्रेस पार्टी को चुनाव में जिता सकते हैं क्या? बताइए, जिता सकते हैं? सोनिया गांधी जी कहती है मौत का सौदागर, प्रियंका गांधी कहती है नीची जाति के लोग, और ये कहते हैं विसेला सांप। अरे कांग्रेस वालों, आपकी मति मारी गई है, मति मारी गई है। मोदी जी को जितना भी गाली बोलोगे, कमल इतना ही अच्छे से खिलकर बाहर आने वाला है।
Well, this has changed the election narrative in Karnataka. There's a real possibility of Prime Minister referring to the statement of Mallikarjun Kharge when he is in Karnataka tomorrow. Remember, he's holding programs at 4 different places. He starts off from Humnabad, he goes to Bijapura, he's also heading to Kudichi, he's also holding a massive road show in Bengaluru as well. That's another area where the BJP wants to dominate. Now we'll get into the discussion. We are in Raichur, as I said, and some hot mirchi bhaji, menshinkai bhaji getting prepared here. You also have mandaki, that's the local flavor of Raichur. Even as the political environment heats up, same is the discussion here at some of these bhaji stalls and coffee stores of North Karnataka. We will talk about what this means for election. Remember, the Congress party wanted to keep the election to local issues, but now they've given a platform to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi himself, without any of these issues, adds a significant might to the BJP in every assembly election. The party now believes that he acts as a differentiating factor, especially in states where there is a strong opposition to the BJP, and one such state is Karnataka. And with the Prime Minister carpet bombing the state, the question is, can Prime Minister help the BJP sweep Karnataka? Because they lack a major leader going into the election as Chief Ministerial pace. Yes, they have B.S. Yediyurappa but he stepped out of dependent on Prime Minister Modi. So what is the opinion about Prime Minister Modi, especially in Raichur and surrounding regions of Kalyan Karnataka? We'll find out, we'll talk to people. Sir, ಈಗ ನಾಳೆಯಿಂದ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ನಾಳೆ ಹುಮ್ನಾಬಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಿಜಾಪುರ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್? ಯಾವ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಯಜಮಾನ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ? Okay, I think he's a little scared on camera. We'll go to someone who runs the household every day. Madam, ಇವಾಗ ನಾಳೆಯಿಂದ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೀವು ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಪ್ರಭಾವಿತರಾಗ್ತೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಅದು ಇಶ್ಯೂನೇ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೀರಾ ನೀವು?
ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನದ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಗೆದ್ದಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಆತಾರ. ಯಾರು ನೋಡ್ತಾರ? ಇಂಥ ಬಡವ್ರು ನೋಡ್ತಾರ ಅವರು?
ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಉಜ್ವಲ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೀವಿ ನಾವು ಈ ತರ.
ಉಚಿತ 12 ಅಂದ್ರು 50 ತಗೊಂತಾನ, ಉಚಿತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾನ. ಅವಾಗೇನು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾನ ಇವಾಗ ಯಾರು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಯಾರು ಕೊಡೋಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ.
ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ 2,000 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿ ಮಹಿಳೆ ಗೃಹಿಣಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂತ. ನಂಬ್ತೀರಾ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು?
ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನಂಬಿದ್ವಿ, ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರೋಡಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ವಿ ಬಜ್ಜಿ ಹಾಕಕ್ಕ.
There you see some hot mirchi bhajis also getting prepared even as we speak, and there are others who are here. ಯಜಮಾನ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಾವು ನಿಮಗೆ 10 kg ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಗೆ 200 ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳು ಅಂತ. ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ನಾಳೆಯಿಂದ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನೀವು ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಹೇಳೋದನ್ನ ನಂಬ್ತೀರಾ, ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಹೇಳೋದು ನಂಬ್ತೀರಾ? ಯಾರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಓಟ್ ಹಾಕಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಾಗ?
ಏನು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಅವ್ರು ಅಂದೆ ಇವ್ರು ಅಂದೆ, ನಾವು ಹಾಕೋದು ಯಾರಿಗಾನ ಒಬ್ರಿಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೀವಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಹೇಳತ್ ನಾವು ಬಡವರಿಗೆ ಅಕ್ಕಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, 10 kg ಏರಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಅವರು.
ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಗೆದ್ದರೆ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Okay, that's the opinion here in Raichur. Let's also talk about the questions that are coming in. Remember, you can engage with us. You can send in your question on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We will take that. We will try and talk about it. We have the first question coming in. We have Edwin from Kottayam in Kerala asking if the Prime Minister hasn't managed to win the state for BJP in 2018, what is different now? That's a valid question that's coming in. Remember, 2018, the Prime Minister perhaps enjoyed equal amount of kind of support that he's seeing, equal kind of approval rating, if that's what the yardstick is. That was the same in 2018. They also had B.S. Yediyurappa as its chief ministerial candidate. That's not the case this time. Also, the Congress was in power between 2013 and 18, so they were facing anti-incumbency. But this time round, it's the BJP which is facing anti-incumbency. So many are raising this point, saying that if in 2018, with everything going for the BJP, if the BJP couldn't get more than 104 seats, will it change this time? They're facing corruption charges. One of their own MLA has been arrested by the Lokayukta. There's a charge of 40% Sarkara. Can Prime Minister alone change it is the question. And has his popularity gone up by leaps and bounds in the last 5 years is another question that we'll have to see. Perhaps the results of this won't just decide which party comes to power. It will also indicate the kind of popularity that the Prime Minister enjoys in the state, on whether it's gone up or gone down. We have another question coming in from one Mr. Rakesh from Noida in Uttar Pradesh. He says, this is state election. Why are we making Prime Minister the main factor here? Well, that's the strategy of the BJP. We've seen this in multiple states. In fact, speaking to us earlier in the week, Amit Shah said that the party believes Prime Minister now has a constituency of himself in terms of the voter base. These are the voters who have been benefited by Prime Minister Narendra Modi government's various schemes. The Garib Kalyan Labharthis, as the party wants to call them, are a significant constituency, and Amit Shah and the party believes that they vote for Modi irrespective of whether a state election or a Lok Sabha election, and that's why it's important for the BJP to get in Prime Minister Modi even in an assembly election, and ensure that he campaigns extensively across the state, like how he's likely to do in Karnataka. He's there tomorrow, and just on one day, he's campaigning in 4 different parts of Karnataka, including a roadshow in Bengaluru. We have another question. Zirfan from Thane, Maharashtra is asking, Karnataka has differentiated between Assembly and Lok Sabha elections. Why would it change? Well, that's the factor that we've seen all along. People in Karnataka have always differentiated between Lok Sabha and Assembly elections, and they've also kind of not voted the ruling party back to power. That hasn't happened in more than 35 years now. And look at how elections have happened. In 2013, people give a clear majority to Siddaramaiah and the Congress. In 2014, the BJP in the Lok Sabha election gathers a majority number of seats out of the 28 Lok Sabha seats from Karnataka. 2018, the BJP doesn't get a clear verdict. They are stuck at 104. But in 2019 Lok Sabha election, they get an unprecedented 25 seats out of 28 seats and add 1 independent MLA backed by the BJP. They pretty much had all of Karnataka except for 2 seats. But people of Karnataka have traditionally made the differentiation. Might not change this time round, looking at the issues of this election and how people are responding, how parties are engaging. You have Congress talking about promises to people here, the BJP saying double engine sarkar, so not much might change. People might still continue to vote differently in Lok Sabha and Assembly election. If it changes, that's a significant development in Karnataka's electoral politics. Well, that was a quick debate or quick discussion on whether the Prime Minister can change things for the BJP in Karnataka, sweep the state for the BJP. But it's also now time to look at a day that we spent with Tejaswi Surya extensively across Karnataka, in Bengaluru to be specific, on what a day looks like. We also tried to quiz him on some of the contentious issues, whether it's hijab, halal, Muslim reservation and various other issues. Take a look. That's all we are getting for you today from here in Raichur. Well, I am from South Bangalore. Tejasvi is from South Bangalore, is also the MP of Bengaluru South, and there is no way we can go ahead with a conversation without filter coffee. So we thought we'll come to Jainagar, come to Mayas.
Mayas, which is like the epicenter for
exactly.
great
And
South Indian food here.
Absolutely. And as I said,
You want
the
some sugar?
conversation, yes. Thank you. The conversation always starts with filter coffee. So busy coffee and busy path. Tejasvi.
Yes.
We spoke about how the election is going. If you notice over the last few days, the discussion has been around Muslim reservation. On the one hand, Mr. Shah said it's unconstitutional, it's illegal. And yesterday Siddaramaiah comes out and says, we will ensure the reservation cap goes up to 75% and will give reservation for everyone. How does the BJP plan to counter this?
Everybody is aware that the 4% reservation that existed in Karnataka, only and only on the basis of religion, with respect to the Muslims, was blatantly unconstitutional and illegal. Multiple judgments of various constitutional courts across the country have held that giving reservation to a particular community only and only on the basis of religion is illegal and unconstitutional. So what we have done is we have rectified this constitutional discrepancy and we have brought in a reservation scheme which is in consonance with the spirit of the constitution. From a very long time, both the Vokkaliga community and the Lingayat community were demanding reservation, and this was a demand that was unmet from many decades. Whereas to pander to their vote bank, from 94, this 4% Muslim reservation existed. We have corrected the constitutional discrepancy and we have brought in true social justice in spirit with the constitution.
Mr. Devegowda says that reservation was brought in because there was a third backward class commission report of Chinnappa Reddy. There was also Havnur commission. He says there was enough ground for it.
Well, what was there, what was not there will be discussed in the courts. But I can tell you very confidently that the intent behind giving this 4% religion-based reservation to the Muslims here was only and only with the intent of pandering to the vote bank. And now Mr. Siddaramaiah is faced with one important question by both the Lingayat community and the Vokkaliga community. They are asking him, because the Congress party has gone on record stating that they will scrap the BJP's policy and restore the reservation to the 4% Muslim reservation. The Vokkaliga community and the Lingayat community are now asking as to who will be targeted by Mr. Siddaramaiah. Whose 2%, whose 4% will he take away and give it to the Muslims? And because he is not able to answer this question satisfactorily, he has come up with this new slogan of giving reservation to everybody, knowing fully well that it will not hold constitutional tests. The Congress party, Harish, in Karnataka has reached such depth levels of frustration and desperation that they will promise you the moon, the Venus and the Mars all together in the same line.
Well, while we are talking about reservation, let's just step out. We'll do have some conversation on the Katte. We've seen, okay, Tejaswi, as you can clearly see, is a quite popular face in South, so we'll have to oblige his fans. We've seen protests by the Lambani community as well in Shimoga at Mr. Yediyurappa's cafe. We've seen protests at Shimoga by the Lambani community outside Mr. Yediyurappa's house. How do you anticipate this to play out in the election?
ಬನ್ನಿ ಕಮ್ ಹರೀಶ್ ಆರಾಮಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜಯನಗರದವ್ರೆ ಹಾಂ.
So how do you see this panning out?
This was a question that you should have asked me 2 weeks ago when the issue was still alive, 3 weeks ago when the issue was still alive. It's not an issue anymore at all, because this whole internal reservation that the Chief Minister has exercised in Karnataka between the SCs and ST community was also a very long pending demand. And because it was such a hot political potato, nobody wanted to touch it, nor had the courage of conviction to address it. Whereas the Honorable Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai has handled the issue with a lot of sensitivity, has displayed great political maneuverability, and has made sure that a scheme is put in place which caters to everybody, that no community feels cheated, that everybody feels that their demands, their just demands have all been met. So I don't think it's an issue anymore. The Lambani community leaders themselves have come on record, and in fact the Lambani community from years together has been a strong supporter of the party, and they will continue to do so.
As I said, both of us from Bangalore, and so many issues related to Bangalore, 28 seats in Bangalore, so we'll have to discuss it. Over the last 2 years, we've seen pothole deaths, we've seen floods in 2 zones of Bangalore. Thankfully, other zones of Bangalore have been saved. There is a feeling amongst the people here that successive governments, whether BJP or Congress or the coalition government, haven't done enough for the city. Despite majority of the taxes going from the city is not getting back or getting the kind of importance that it should get. How does the BJP now plan to tackle this? Because several of your MLAs will be facing the music from people.
Harish, we both have grown up in Bangalore. It is a fact that the economic pace of the economic growth of the city far outpaced the infrastructure growth of the city. It is a fact that all of us must agree. And if you understand, or rather analyze as to why this happened, there is no two ways about it. The political will that was required by successive governments in the past, both at the center and at the state level, to push for growth of Bengaluru in the pace at which it was supposed to be done, was not seen. With the exception, I would say, the period when Atalji was the Prime Minister, when S.M. Krishna was the Chief Minister in Karnataka, and then later the focus again came back on Bengaluru when Yediyurappaji formed the government for the first time here. Take the suburban rail project, for example. It's a project that was proposed 40 years ago. the idea was to connect the suburbs of the city through the train. But it was pending for 40 years. As a result of that, what was then the suburb now has become the urban.
Absolutely.
And this is just one case in point. The same is with the peripheral ring road. So now thankfully the Prime Minister has given us the STRR, the Satellite Township Ring Road project at a 17,000 crore project. Now almost 40% of the work has already gotten completed. So in the last 3.5 years, there has been absolute focus on creating next generation infrastructure for Bengaluru. I'll just give you a few examples. The suburban rail project, which was pending from 40 years, the Prime Minister came last year to Bengaluru, promised to complete it in 40 months. The work is now in progress. It is happening at a fast pace. The Satellite Township Ring Road, which will help bypass most of the traffic that passes through the city. Almost 35-40% of the project is complete, and it is getting completed at a fast pace. That is happening. The metro connectivity, which was a paltry 7 kilometers in 2014, has now risen to 70 kilometers, and by end of next year it will touch 100 kilometers. And we are right now in Jayanagar. From Jayanagar, by end of next year, you will be able to reach Bengaluru International Airport in a flat 35-40 minutes. So today Bengaluru is already, after Delhi, the city with the largest network of metro, thanks to the efforts of the Prime Minister and the double engine government in the last 3.5 years. Harish, you know that BMTC is one of our largest public transport carriers in Bengaluru. It's the Bahubali of public transport. The last 7-8 years, the fleet of the BMTC was almost near stagnant at around 6,500 buses. Under the FAME scheme, the central government and state government has now given 1,500 electric buses and augmented the capacity. The international airport, you and I are frequent travelers. We have travelled, the moment we would go there, the security check would take an hour and a half. The airport. Bengaluru desperately needed a new terminal. In 2019, the Prime Minister came. He did the Shankusthapan for the airport. Despite 2 years of COVID, 2022, by the end of last year, we threw open Kempegowda Airport, beautiful airport terminal to the people of Bengaluru. Whether it is air traffic, whether it is land traffic, whether it is railway, all of these have happened to the city. Not just that, today Bengaluru, in the Prime Minister's vision, even this morning he mentioned, of how he envisages Bengaluru to be the node of connectivity for whole of South India. Bengaluru-Mysuru Expressway, completed and thrown open to public. Bengaluru-Chennai Greenfield Expressway, the work is happening. Bengaluru-Hyderabad, Bengaluru-Vishakhapatnam, Bengaluru-Pune, Surat-Chennai Economic Corridor. All of these is going to benefit Bengaluru greatly, which is why the IMF in a recent study said that Bengaluru is India's fastest growing city today and will continue to be India's fastest growing city for the next 15 years.
Yes. In fact,
so this is why I feel, this is one point that is very important to be made, because all of these infrastructure projects are in progress, are at various stages of completion, is why you need a BJP government again in the state. Because we cannot afford a state government which will not push these infrastructure projects with the same enthusiasm with which this government is pushing.
While you're talking about infrastructure, one concern by several citizens is that there's no holistic plan for the city. I mean, we are in Bangalore, just look at the greenery in South Bangalore here. Many are saying that we do not have an elected council. All political parties were in cahoots to ensure there was no BBMP election. They're saying we do not have a planning authority that's looking at everything and ensuring there is seamless planning. We have a BDA, we have a BBMP, multiple agencies.
Correct.
How do you plan to address this? Because I know on a daily basis they're reaching out to you as well. How do you fix this long term?
We have already addressed this to an extent, and more work needs to be done. Because this is a city we all love to bits.
Absolutely.
The point that you made, which is a very important point of lack of coordination between different parastatals, is an issue that has been highlighted by city planners and urban thinkers from a long time in the city, which is why we introduced the new BBMP Act. One of the core principles behind the new BBMP Act was to bring these civic parastatals together. The other important legislation that we introduced, that Bommai government introduced just 6-7 months ago, was the BMLTA bill, which again was a demand from a long time. Today there is no coordination between Metro with BMTC, with our Ola, Uber, last mile connectivity service providers, and other public transport parastatals, our police, traffic police, etc. So the Bangalore Metropolitan Land Transport Authority bill was also brought in to ensure seamless coordination between these agencies. So if at all any government has taken action in this regard to create seamless communication, coordination between the parastatals, it is us. And it is not something that we are promising that we will do tomorrow. It's something that we have already done and delivered. Which is why I am telling you, this time in Bengaluru, we will come close to getting 20 seats of the 28 assembly seats in Bengaluru.
Okay.
Because no city, no prime minister and no party has done has contributed to the growth of Bengaluru as much as Narendra Modi ji has done and as much as BJP has done. Whether it is water, Kaveri third phase, Kaveri fourth phase, it was the BJP which did. Whether it is the original Kempegowda International Airport, the Terminal 1, it was done again during the period of Vajpayee ji, when Anant Kumar ji was the Civil Aviation Minister. So all of these things, whether it is air transport, whether it is infrastructure, and even this time as we speak, because it's a growing city, large number of people are coming to Bengaluru. Among all metropolitan cities in the country, the city which has the highest number of beneficiaries of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, urban, is Bengaluru. In just my own constituency, there are more than 13,000 new houses that have been built in every constituency, you will see that. So we have done tremendously for the growth of Bengaluru, and the next 5 years is crucial for the city of, the city's growth, the state's growth, is why it is imperative to elect a double engine government.
Well, I am from South Bangalore. Tejaswi is from South Bangalore, is also the MP of Bengaluru South, and there is no way we can go ahead with a conversation without filter coffee. So we thought we'll come to Jainagar, come to Mayas.
Mayas, which is like the epicenter for
Exactly.
great
And
South Indian food here.
Absolutely. And as I said,
You want
the
some sugar?
conversation, yes. Thank you. The conversation always starts with filter coffee.